Hi students, thank you and welcome for choosing our video. If you think grammar part, especially this simple compound complex is very difficult, and this video is exclusively for you. I am English teacher, Vidhyalakshmi school. You are welcome to our channel. My aim today is to make you understand this topic, simple compound complex, or kinds of sentences we call. I want to make this very simple to understand. It's really looks difficult, but it's very easy actually. Let me show how easy it's going to be. So, a basic approach to simple compound complex sentences. I am not going to involve you in transformation of sentences right away. First of all, let us understand what is simple and what is compound and what is complex sentences. Before entering this topic, we must understand basic things of these kinds of sentences. In your previous classes, you might have studied about different kinds of sentences. When teacher asks you, immediately you will stand and tell, what are the kinds of sentences? Answer is declarative sentence or assertive sentence, interrogative sentence, imperative sentence, and exclamatory sentences. These are 4 kinds of sentences. And what about these 3 kinds of sentences? In the context of meaning, if you take meaning of the sentences, you have 4. That is what I have told you right now: assertive, interrogative, imperative, and exclamatory. But in terms of structure of a sentence, if you talk about a structure of a sentence, it has got 3 kinds of sentences. They are simple, compound, and complex. We must understand few basic steps to understand this. Some of my students have approached me or telling me sometimes that this particular grammar part is difficult for me to understand. For those people, this is going to be a very useful video. Please watch till the end. What is a simple sentence? If I tell you a simple sentence has got only one main clause, with or without a phrase. This is a simple definition. A simple sentence has got only one main clause. Only one main clause, with or without a phrase. I am telling like this. You cannot understand when I tell like this, I am sure. What is a complex sentence? Definition for complex sentence is, it has got one main clause, and at least one subordinate clause. At least one subordinate clause. If I tell this, you will not understand what is complex sentence. Okay, in the previous slide, you must understand, without knowing what is main clause, you cannot understand what is complex sentence. Am I right? Without understanding a clause, you cannot understand main clause, and you cannot understand subordinate clause. Therefore, you must understand what is a clause, what is a subordinate clause. Then you must pass on to simple compound complex sentences. When I talk about compound sentence, you might have studied it has at least 2 main clauses connected by coordinating conjunctions. It may have subordinate clauses sometimes. It need not have subordinate clauses sometimes. But at least 2 main clauses should be there, and they are connected by coordinating conjunctions, but, and, etc. Right. So, first of all, you must understand what is main class. See, simple sentence, it has got phrase, I told you phrase, it has got phrase, right? You must understand what is a phrase. Without understanding a phrase, you cannot write simple sentence. Therefore, first of all, we will understand the basics of simple compound complex sentences. See, first you just say word, take a word in your previous classes, in small classes. Teacher might have told you, you might have heard, you might have understood that one. What's a word? It's a group of words or group of alphabet, right? With a meaning. Meaning should be there. Without meaning, if you utter any word, it is not a word. It cannot be called a word. So, you all must be knowing this. What's a word? If I ask you, you will tell it's a group of words, sir, right? Then if I ask you, what is a sentence, dear students? What's a sentence? Yeah, you all already know this. What's a sentence? It's a group of words. These are group of letters. Group of letters or word, okay, or alphabet. Then sentence, if you talk about sentence, a group of words with a meaning. Sentence is a group of words with a meaning. Again, I tell you, word is a group of alphabet or group of letters with a meaning. Sentence is group of words with a meaning, right? You all know this clearly because you have already studied this. Then we must try to understand clause. What is that clause? We know what is a sentence, it's easy. Let me tell you today, it's very easy to understand. Let me tell you, sentence is nothing but a clause. You know what is a sentence, you do not know what is a clause. You know sentence, it's English, therefore you know. Clause is a grammar, therefore you find it difficult. Actually, sentence is a clause, please understand. Nothing more, nothing less. But you must add one important thing in clause. It has one finite verb in a sentence. So, it has one finite verb in it. So, what is that finite verb? All the verbs which show tense are called finite verbs. Infinite verbs you don't have, it doesn't have tense, it doesn't show tense. Okay. So, sentence is also group of words, clause is also group of words, but clause has a verb in it, verb. For example, students are playing in the ground, or playing is a verb. I will come to your class, will come is a verb, right? So, sentence is nothing but, in my definition, sentence is nothing but clause, but clause has got a verb in it, right? It's also group of words, but it has got verb in it, right? Okay. Then you must go for main clause. Now you have understood what is clause. Now you just go for main clause. What is that main clause? It is also group of words, right? Then why do you call main class or subordinate class? Subordinate means assistant sentence. Okay. Otherwise it is called independent class. This is dependent, subordinate class is a dependent class. They are other names for this. Main class, what is that main class? As the name suggests, it stands alone and gives complete meaning. That is why we call it main class. But subordinate class, it also gives meaning, but the thought is incomplete. The meaning is incomplete. That is why we call it a subordinate class. For example, if you ask me, I will help you. Look at the sentence. If you ask me, I will help you. I underline the first part of the sentence without this part. I don't call it a main. Just understand, for understanding. Just see. If you ask me, read the sentence. Read the sentence. If you ask me, if you ask me. When somebody comes and says, if you ask me, the sentence is incomplete, but it has meaning, right? You are asking something, it has got meaning. Sentence is incomplete. The thought given in this sentence is incomplete. That is why we call it subordinate class or dependent class. But when you just read, I will help you, I will help you, this sentence gives you full meaning, complete meaning. That is the reason why we call it main class. We call it main class because it stands alone and gives complete meaning. That is why we call independent class or main class, right? When you look at this one, if you ask me, it has meaning but thought is incomplete. But this sentence is depending on this sentence for its meaning. Please understand, when this sentence joins the main class, it takes full meaning, meaning is completed. Therefore, since it is always depending on the main class for its meaning, we call it subordinate class or dependent class because it depends on the main class. Only difference between main class and subordinate class is main class stands alone without the help of subordinate class and gives full meaning, but subordinate class depends on main class for its meaning. That is why we call it subordinate class, right? Okay, fine, that's good. Then we will understand further. What's a sentence? We all know. Phrase, then we'll understand phrase. We are able to understand what is a word and what is a sentence and what is a class, what's a subordinate class. Now we try to understand what is a phrase. People tell this phrase and that phrase, I like this phrase, these are phrase I like most. So people are there to tell so many phrases, but what is a phrase? Phrase is also a sentence. It is also a sentence. It is also a sentence. Group of words, we all know. Group of words, we all know this. Then what is the difference between sentence and a phrase, sir? Or clause and a phrase, sir? I told you clause has got a verb in it. Verb in it. But in phrase, we do not have a verb, right? In phrase, we do not have a verb. Phrase is also group of words without a verb, right? Without a verb. Therefore, we call it phrase. Please understand the difference between a clause and a phrase. Clause has got a verb in it. Phrase does not have a verb in it. Phrase can be a part of a sentence. It is not fully a sentence, it is a part of a sentence. For example, I tell you, all the brilliant students of 12th standard are asked to attend a seminar tomorrow. I am writing all the brilliant students of 12th standard are requested to attend the seminar. Read the sentence. All the brilliant students of 12th standard are requested to attend the seminar. All the brilliant students of 12th standard. Look at this sentence up to what I have underlined. This part of sentence up to this does not have a verb, right? Therefore, it is a phrase. Therefore, it is a phrase. Are requested is a verb, right? When you just read sentence fully, it's a clause, right? It's a clause because it has a verb, right? Or requested is the verb, main verb, right? So, it's a clause. In this clause, a phrase can be a part of it. That's why I am just trying to tell you all the brilliant students of 12th standard. So, this part of sentence does not have any verb in it, therefore, it is a phrase. Okay. Let us try to understand other part of things. Examples are there. I can give you examples. For example, though she is poor, she helps others. Though she is poor, she helps others. Look at the sentence carefully. She helps others, stands alone and gives meaning. Therefore, it's a main clause, right? Though she is poor, when you read this sentence is incomplete, thought is incomplete, but thought is there, but it is incomplete. It depends on the main clause for its meaning. That is why we call it subordinate clause. All right. Question will be like this: transform this sentence into a simple sentence. For example, I am telling you, change this sentence into simple sentence. Then what is a simple sentence? You must understand what is a simple sentence first. That is why in the first slide I have shown you the definition for simple sentence. It has got only one main class with or without a verb, with or without a phrase. So, it has got only one main class with or without a phrase, right. So, here main class we keep it unchanged, you do not have to change that one. We have to remove this verb, right, subordinate class. When you remove this verb, it becomes a phrase in it. Without changing the meaning, we must write a simple sentence. That is a question for you today, right. Then you must remove is. How will you remove? So, this is like, despite being poor, she helps others. Despite, so we are using despite. Being is not a verb, being is not a verb, right. So, we are removing the verb and making this particular sentence into a phrase. Now, it is phrase. Now, it is a phrase. What is the definition for simple sentence? It has got one main class, you got it. One main class, you got it, right. With or without phrase, this is a phrase. So, it has become a simple sentence. So, again we go back to understand what is a simple sentence, right. Say, now you have understood what is a main class and what is a subordinate class, and also phrase you have understood. Simple sentence has got only one main class. It has got only one main class with or without phrase, sometimes with or, without a phrase, without a phrase. It's a simple sentence. For example, I am standing here, our students are playing, students are playing. It is a main class because it stands alone and gives meaning, right. It does not have a phrase. Okay. Therefore, we call it a main class. All right. So, simple sentence, it means it has got only one main class. Sometimes it does not have a phrase. No problem if it does not have a phrase. All right. Next, we pass on to complex sentence. It is also of one main class. It is also of one main class. One main class and at least one subordinate class. When I say at least one subordinate class, it obviously means it can have any number of subordinate classes, but rule is at least one subordinate class should be present for a complex sentence along with one main class, right. For simple also, one main class, okay, with or without phrase, okay. Phrase can be there or cannot be there, we don't worry about it. Simple also one main class, complex also one main class, but the difference between simple and complex is complex sentence will have at least one subordinate class. For example, though it is raining, students are playing in the ground. Read the sentence carefully. Though it is raining, students are playing in the ground. Right? What sentence is this? Think. It has one main class, it has one subordinate class. So, it implies complex sentence, right? See, students are playing in the ground, it is a main class. All right. Though it is raining, it has meaning, but thought is incomplete. It depends on the main class for its complete meaning. Therefore, it is a subordinate class. When we have one subordinate class, one main class, it is obviously a complex sentence. Then the question goes like this: change this complex sentence into a simple sentence. What is simple? You must understand in your mind that simple is only one main class, only one main class. Simple is only one main class with phrase or without phrase. So, let us keep students are playing in the ground as a main class. We will keep it unchanged, untouched. We are not going to touch that because it is a main class, right. So, we have to make a small change in the subordinate class. We have to change the subordinate class into a phrase. Then it becomes simple, as I have already told you. Simple has got only one main class, at least one one phrase, right. It can have a phrase, right, not a problem. Therefore, we are changing subordinate class into a phrase. So, how do we change? See, for though we have to use in spite of or despite anyone, right. In spite of rain or raining, students are playing in the ground. Right. Now, look at the sentence. In spite of rain, students are playing in the ground. Students are playing in the ground is a main class, right. In spite of rain or in spite of raining is a phrase. Therefore, it has become a simple sentence. Clear? Then we pass on to compound sentence.
Hi, நான் தமிழ் பிரகாஷ். வித்யாலக்ஷ்மி ஸ்கூல்ல 12th ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் படிக்கிறேன். நாங்கள் 12th என்டர் ஆன டைமில் கொரோனா வந்ததுனால ஃபுல் பேண்டமிக், செம லாக்டவுனு, ஸ்கூல் எதுவுமே ஓப்பன் பண்ண முடியாமல் போச்சு. அதுவும் இது ஒரு லைஃப் டிசைடிங் பாயிண்ட் அப்படிங்கிறனால எங்கள் கரியரே ஒரு கொஷின் மார்க்காக இருந்தது. பட் அந்த டைம்லையும் எங்கள் வித்யாலக்ஷ்மி ஸ்கூல் ஆன்லைன் கிளாஸஸ்லாம் கண்டக்ட் பண்ணி எங்களை ஒரு கரெக்டான பாத்தில் கொண்டு போனாங்க. இப்போது எங்கள் கரியரை பற்றின எந்த டவுட்டும் இல்லை, ரொம்ப கான்ஃபிடென்ட்டாக இருக்கும். அதுவும் இல்லாமல் சிபிஎஸ்சி எங்கள் எக்ஸாம்ஸ் வந்து போஸ்ட்போன் பண்ணனால இன்னும் நிறைய டைம் கிடச்சிருக்கு. ஸோ தட் எங்கள் ஸ்கூல் கண்டிப்பாக எங்களோட கரியர் வந்து ஒரு டாப் லெவலில் கொண்டு போயிடுவாங்க அப்படின்னு எங்களுக்கு நல்லாவே கான்ஃபிடென்ட்டாக இருக்கும். இது எல்லாத்துக்குமே வித்யாலக்ஷ்மி ஸ்கூலுக்கு ரொம்ப ரொம்ப நன்றி.
Now just look at the compound sentence. So, compound sentence has got two main classes connected by coordinating conjunctions. In your previous classes, you might have studied what are the coordinating conjunctions, right? And, but, and so, therefore, so. These are coordinating conjunctions, right? So, compound, it means you should have at least two main classes. When you have two main classes, automatically you have to connect using conjunctions, coordinating conjunctions, right. So, when I say at least two main classes, you must understand that it can have any number of main classes. It can have 3, 4, 5, 6 also. And what about subordinate classes, sir? Sometimes it may be there or it may not be there, you do not worry about it. At least minimum two main classes. When you have two main classes, it is a compound sentence, right. For example, right. I am writing one sentence. It is raining heavily. Okay. But students are playing in the ground. Read the sentence. It is raining heavily, but students are playing in the ground. See, it is raining heavily. Read the sentence. It is raining heavily. It stands alone and it gives complete meaning. Therefore, we have to call it main class. Again, students are playing in the ground. Again, this sentence, students are playing in the ground, this sentence stands alone and gives complete meaning. Therefore, this is also main class. This is main class 1, this is main class 2, right. And they are connected by a coordinating conjunction. But it is raining heavily, but students are playing in the ground. So, two main classes are connected by coordinating conjunctions. That is why we call it a compound sentence. See, there can be a subordinate sentence, subordinate class sometimes. You can add any number of subordinate classes, but at least two main classes. For example, I can add one subordinate class here. Ground which is wet or full of mud, right. So, again I have added one subordinate class. So, please understand, simple sentence has got only one main class, complex sentence has got only one main class, at least one subordinate class. Compound sentence has two main classes, at least two main classes. They are usually connected by coordinating conjunctions, right. Can you understand now? Okay. See, this is one small table that I can give you today. For the examination point of view, examination purpose, we have several types of sentences here. To change simple into compound, compound into complex, vice versa, compound into complex and simple, and from complex we can change sentences into simple and compound, right, complex. Okay, these are three models that I can give you right now. See, first one, despite, in spite of in simple, and compound sentence, but yet sometimes still. Complex sentence we have to use though, although, even though, right. One may ask a small question, sir, is it compulsory, is it necessary for me to have these kind of tables to understand simple, compound, complex, or to change one form of sentence into another form of sentence? No, my answer is no. You do not have to read this table for changing, but this will help you enormously right? It will give you tips. For example, in simple sentence, if you have despite, then when you are writing compound sentence, you can use but, yet, sometimes still. So, you will have in your mind. So, this tabular column will help you better understand this changing sentences, right? Similarly, when you are asked to write a complex sentence, in your mind, you will get an idea, I must start with though, although, even though. All right. That is the reason why teachers give you this kind of tables, especially when you are asked to transform the sentences from one form to the other form. I give you example for each one. Listen to me very carefully. This is very easy. It's not at all difficult one, right? So, see the first one. I give you like this. Despite working hard, my friend could not succeed. Despite working hard, my friend could not succeed. What sentence is this? Just read the sentence carefully and find out what sentence is this. Despite working hard, my friend could not succeed, right? What sentence is this? Right? Just read out what sentence is this. Is it simple or compound? It's a simple sentence because it has only one main class, one phrase, right? Therefore, it is a simple sentence. They will ask you to change into a compound sentence. Now, first of all, let us try to change into a compound sentence. Okay. So, here this table will help you. I have to use but. You can use anything. I have to use but when I write compound sentence. So, in your mind immediately, when somebody is asking you to change the sentence into compound sentence, definition come to your mind that I must write two main classes. I must write two main classes. One main class is already there. My friend could not succeed. What is one more main class? I have to make this phrase into a main class. What I have to write is, my friend, write the subject, bring the subject back. My friend, it's a past tense, could not succeed. When you read could not succeed, you will understand it's a past tense. My friend worked hard. My friend worked hard. My friend worked hard. It's a main class, right? My friend could not succeed is another main class. We kept it untouched. So, we are joining my friend worked hard main class 1 and this is main class 2. So, it has become a compound sentence because according to definition, compound sentence has got two main classes and we have to connect using coordinating conjunctions. You can use but here. Okay. My friend worked hard, but he could not succeed. But he could not succeed, right? He could not succeed. So, now it has become a compound sentence. The same sentence, if they ask you to change into complex, what you have to do? You have to make it a subordinate class. You have to make it subordinate clause, right? You have to make it a subordinate. For example, despite studying well, he failed. This is one main class. This is phrase. Therefore, you must understand that this is a simple sentence. Or will you change this simple into complex? If it is a complex, you must have the immediate idea that it should have one main class and one subordinate class, right? So, I keep this main class as it is unchanged. I am not going to touch it. He failed is a main class because it gives complete meaning, right? Therefore, I am going to not touch it, right? Therefore, we have to make changes here only, right? This is a phrase because it does not have a verb in it. Studying is not a verb, right? It's a gerund. So, we have to give verb form for it. So, when we have despite, when you are asked to write complex sentence, we can use though, although, even though, anyone, that's your wish, right? So, though, and when we use though, a conjunction we must use subject. Though ye, past tense, therefore, studying becomes studied if it takes the verb form, right? Though he studied hard, or studied well. Though he studied well, he failed. Though he studied well, he failed. Though he studied well, subordinate class. He failed is a main class. Therefore, it has become a complex sentence, right? So, in today's lesson, in simple compound complex, we have discussed what sentence, what's a clause, what's a subordinate clause, what's a phrase, how to change simple into complex, complex into compound, and vice versa. So, part 2 will be there. Thank you for watching till now patiently. You will have the second part soon. Please wait. We will have more sentences and more easy ways to transform sentences, to understand more about simple compound complex sentences. Please wait for the videos and come back. Till then, bye bye. Please never forget to subscribe and share. Thanks so much. Bye bye.